Hello everybody, this is Kirsten here. How is it going? Welcome back. I am so happy that you are here and taking some time out of your day to spend this about 10, maybe 15 minutes with me today. And today I want to talk to you girls who are currently in the healing phase of your burnout recovery spectrum. This is the time where you have realized that you have a problem, that you have been overtraining, that you have very likely been undereating, and some common numbers when we're talking about calories are maybe 1200 or 1300 or 1400, and sometimes those numbers are a little bit higher. Sometimes they are 1700 or 1800 calories a day, but at the same time, the physical activity we do is a lot, so the energy balance is still not there. So we end up burning so much more energy via exercise than we take in via eating food. So in this healing phase, you still have a lot of symptoms that are telling you that your body is not functioning the way it should be functioning. There's a pretty good chance that you're really fatigued all the time. Maybe you have hard time sleeping. Maybe you have hard time staying asleep. Maybe you have hard time falling asleep. So sleep is a big issue. Maybe you are constantly hungry, but you are not letting yourself to eat, and now you have to recover from this old mindset. Maybe your hair is falling out, which is caused by not eating enough, and also maybe having some nutrient deficiencies. This is one of the reasons. This is the main reason why your hair is falling out. So even if you use the fanciest, best hair care products out there, they are not helping. Maybe you have lost your period. Maybe you are really, really afraid of food. So this is the time where you probably have symptoms, all kinds of symptoms, physical and also mental and emotional. And this is where you know that you have to start doing something about it. And you have maybe started taking first steps towards getting better. And healing phase is that time where you really have to become more relaxed around food, around fitness, around the way you see yourself, and start strengthening your good habits, your good positive self-talk, your maybe affirmations if you like to use them. You have to start eating much more. You have to give your body a lot more rest than you did before. And these are the things that you have to do in order to start feeling better. And it's different for everybody. We all have to heal, but because the starting point is different, a lot of people have different symptoms. Maybe you have some of these symptoms that I mentioned, and not all of these symptoms. And somebody has all of these symptoms plus more. Losing your period, of course, is one big one as well that I didn't mention before. So these things describe you in the healing phase. And you want to get out of it, right? It's a good thing that you have started healing, and you eventually want to get to this healthy phase and then to this balance phase where you don't have to focus on healing that much, but your body is doing its thing. It's already functioning properly, and now you can move on with your life, and maybe in the balance phase have more new goals, maybe some performance goals. You're gonna maybe do some harder workouts if you want to. Your life is going to look different in the balance phase than it does in the healing phase. And that's why the healing phase can be really, really confusing. It can feel really frustrating because you want to control it. You want to make sure that you don't gain too much weight, and you want to make sure that you know when your symptoms are getting better, and you want to make sure that you know almost the exact date when your period is going to come back. But unfortunately, these things are not possible. And what we have to do in the healing phase is really just like put one foot in front of the other, and keep doing the things that we know are helpful for us. Eating more food, yes, even if you don't want to, you will have to eat certain number of, if you track calories, or a certain number of meals. Even if you don't have to, you have to do it because this is what your body really wants. And I know this phase can be so difficult because of the expectations, because of the perfectionist mindset that we have, because we want to control the outcome exactly. And that's why it's frustrating, because we cannot control everything. But there are some things that we can control, and they are doing the same things day after day after day, the things that we know help us feel better. Today, though, I want to share with you 5 things that I want you to stop worrying about when you are in the healing phase. And we are those people who like to worry, right? We're thinking all the time, when is it going to be over? Is there like the end date? How's it going to feel later? And we just want to control everything, but there are certain things that you have to let go of. And the first thing that you have to let go of is the need to do really hard workouts. I know that a lot of us, and that was me too in the past, we're really kind of regimented with our exercise, and we wanted to do structured exercise every single day, whether it was that 1 hour run that I had to do every day, or whether it was 15 minutes of HIIT every day, or whether it was 1 hour weightlifting every day. And not that these things are bad for a healthy person, but for somebody who is healing, you have to change your perspective and let go of this super hardcore structure, this way of like doing things that you thought was right for you. And I want you to really get more in tune with yourself, and maybe first time in a very long period of time, you are going to ask yourself, how do I want to move? What do I want to do? And not worry so much about how many workouts you got in this week. Now, what I'm seeing more and more is that there are many people who are actually able to recover from metabolic burnout by continuing to do exercise, continuing to do weightlifting. And I don't see too many people recovering when they're still running a ton. I've known like 1 or 2, but I've seen more people who can actually recover when they do some weightlifting. However, if you choose to take that route, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, it's a choice. First of all, it's going to take a little bit more time. But secondly, even if you choose to continue some weightlifting, I still want you to think about it this way. I will give myself a day off if I don't feel like it, right? Even if you were planning to do like 2 or 3 days a week, if you are tired, then you're gonna skip that workout. And a lot of people really are super tired in this phase because they have been doing so much in the past and they're just extremely exhausted. So I want to give you this permission that it's okay to not worry about getting all your structured workouts in, and I definitely encourage you to decrease the amount of workouts that you used to do in the past, and do more things that you really enjoy, that that feel right for you, that feel right for your body today. And a lot of times you may find that this is a walk that makes you feel good, or it's stretching that makes you feel good because now you're sitting more. I really encourage actually stretching and foam rolling, but maybe you don't feel like doing that strength workout every day, and you definitely should not be doing cardio workouts during your healing phase. So the first thing that I want you to stop worrying about is getting your structured workouts in. The second thing I want you to stop worrying about is also about exercise, and that is, how am I going to do exercise after I've recovered, and what is it going to look like? Yesterday, somebody sent me a message on Instagram, said that I am so afraid that what if I don't want to start working out anymore after I have recovered? And I'm absolutely terrified because I used to be this really fit girl. That was always my identity, and everybody knew me that way. But right now I'm just really tired, and I'm already kind of ahead of things. I'm already thinking, what is my exercise going to look like, and what if I don't want to return to exercise after recovery? And I also want you to let go of this fear as well. And let me tell you why. What I've seen with most of my clients is that after a period of time, when they overcome this kind of like this period where they feel really, really exhausted, and when they start feeling better, the desire to exercise comes back, and it probably is not going to look like exactly what it was before. And that was myself too. I just don't like the types of workouts that I used to do in the past, and I don't like to do HIIT training anymore. I go running very, very rarely, and my exercise looks very different from what it was before I started my recovery. But I don't want you to worry about it right now, what it's going to look like, because it will be okay. Most women, like I said, find exercise again, because I think if you have once been active and moved your body, then it's really built into your nature and into your body. And I think human body in general wants to move. Of course, it's a different story if we're talking about somebody who's super sedentary and doesn't move at all or never has had any fitness habits. This is a different population and this is a different problem. But I think for those of us who have been exercising regularly sometime in the past, and then now are taking this pressure off to do it like perfectly, or like having to return to this old way of exercise, if you let go of that, you will find that thing that you want to do. And like I said, it may look different. Maybe you don't want to run anymore as much, maybe you don't want to do the things that you did in the past, but you will figure it out. And once you're starting to feel better, you will start naturally seeing where do you want to go. If you want to start taking more walks, maybe you want to start doing more hiking. I really do encourage you to check out strength training because I've talked about it a lot. I think it has so many health benefits, mental health and physical health benefits, and then bone health, of course, is one of the big things. So I really recommend that you at least check it out and incorporate some strength training into your routine. But for now, don't worry about what exactly it is going to look like. The third thing I want you to stop worrying about is what to label your diet, what kind of label to put on your current diet. And so many of us have this habit or are used to saying like, okay, I am keto, or I am vegan, or I do intermittent fasting, or I do 1 meal a day. There are so many diets out there that to choose from, and we often feel like we have to identify with this one thing. And I want to tell you today that you don't have to identify with this one thing, and try to really let go of this idea that you're that person whose identity is kind of labeled with this one thing, like, oh, she's the vegan girl, she's the keto girl, she's that intermittent fasting girl. You don't need that label right now. What you need is to eat food, is to eat nutritious foods, is to eat some fun foods, those that make you feel good. Both of these foods make you feel good, and have like a healthy, balanced approach to eating, which does not require a specific label. And if you're not now in the healing phase, if you're trying to put yourself in a box that is called keto, that is called paleo, and then you find that you don't maybe want to be keto, you really should not be keto when you are going through the healing phase. And if you put this label on yourself and then you find that you don't want to eat the keto way, then you're gonna feel like crap, right? So in this healing phase, I want you to give you like a lot of flexibility and just kind of like fluidity when you're like, okay, I'm gonna eat mostly good foods, at least 3 meals, maybe 4 meals a day. I'm gonna have snacks as many as I need them. I have good foods, regular eating times, and some snacks here and there. I just like let it happen kind of naturally while still paying attention to food quality and quantity, because you want to eat nutritious foods, and also you want to eat enough foods, and also you want to eat some fun foods, but you don't have to put yourself in a box that says keto on it. The next thing that I want you to let go of in the healing phase is perfectionism. And previously when I talked about returning to exercise, yes, I do hope that you go back to exercise after you have healed, or if you keep doing it a little bit even now, then you know that you're going to continue afterwards, because exercise is a really healthy habit to have to do if you do it in a healthy way. But perfectionism is not healthy. So I hope that in this healing phase, you're able to let go of perfectionism. And also after you have healed, when you're in this balance phase, that you don't want to go back to trying to be super perfect, because you cannot be in a balance phase when you're trying to be perfect. You cannot do even the balance perfectly, right? If you want to be balanced, you gotta be compromising all the time. It's like a seesaw, you're trying to balance it in a really imperfect way. It has to be fine. And perfectionism is such a big problem for all of us who have been in the burnout and the healing phase. We want to do everything so well. We want to control everything 100%. And it is just not working. It's causing you a lot of negative self-talk, because Perfectionism is something that you cannot achieve. It's just unachievable. And if you don't achieve it, what happens is that you get really, really mad at yourself. You get really, really annoyed. You're like, how didn't I do it? Why was I not able to do it? Like, who am I even? And this is where we go down that negative self-talk rabbit hole again. So that's why perfectionism is not a good idea. Also, if you want to try and bring this perfectionism into your eating, and you try to eat so perfectly, you're trying to eat super healthy, which I don't think is necessary to eat like 100% clean and healthy. But if you try to do it, you're holding yourself back from real recovery. And perfectionism in every area of life, honestly. Like, stop trying to be so perfect that nobody would ever have anything bad to say about you. This is just not doable. If you want to learn how to deal with all that, you should start on a business, because you can never please everybody. There's always going to be somebody who's going to tell you that this is wrong, you're wrong, this is bad, and you just have to be like, okay, I'm imperfect and I don't have to please everybody, and this is not my job, and this is not how you're supposed to live your life. So let go of the perfectionism. The one way to start practicing it is start intentionally doing imperfect things. So maybe you had like your perfect meal planned out, so just mess it up a little bit. Don't let it be so perfect. Add something that you were not going to add. Or if you think that you definitely have to respond to every single email that lands in your inbox, like first thing in the morning, then start telling yourself, I'm not going to do it. I am just not going to do it, because I'm not trying to like please others and be so perfect and get my inbox like empty. It's okay to have like a little messier life. It's okay to kind of move around and give yourself a little bit more freedom and a little bit more flexibility. You do not have to be perfect with your exercise, with your food, especially in the healing phase. Just don't try it. The last thing that I want you to stop worrying about is that, when are you going to get the result that you want to get? And for a lot of you, this is the period recovery. For some of us, it's like just generally generally when do we start feeling better and not having this fatigue all the time. For some of us, is when is my hair is gonna come back, start growing back on. For some of us, it may be, when am I gonna get pregnant? And I would like to tell you that what you can control right now is your action, what you do every single day in order to heal. Are you eating enough? Are you resting enough? Are you meditating enough? Are you taking care of yourself, like truly taking care of yourself? These are the things that you have control over every day. But when the result that you want to get is going to show up, unfortunately, it's not 100% up to you. We cannot put a date on a calendar. It's not like a first day of school, this is when it starts, or here's my, so-and-so's birthdays on the calendar. It's not like that. You cannot control it as much as we want to. And coming back to perfectionism, as much as you want to control the outcome and when it's going to show up, there's just no way to do it. Nobody can tell you when it's gonna happen. But if you continue doing the right practices every single day, and at the same time give yourself some freedom and forgiveness if everything doesn't work out perfectly all the time, then the outcome that you want to get, it will come. But you also have to learn to be in the process and take the steps every single day that you have to take in order to achieve your goal. Okay, so this was for those of you who are right now in the healing phase. I hope it was helpful. I'm going to go over the 5 steps one more time, the 5 things that I want you to stop worrying about. The first thing was structured exercise. You don't have to push yourself to go and do your workout if you don't feel this way. Give yourself the permission to rest. The second thing was what your exercise is going to look like after you recovered. Like I said, you will likely want to exercise also later, but give yourself some time to get there. The third thing I want you to stop worrying about is what your diet is going to be labeled as. Is it like vegan, keto, paleo, whatever? Don't worry about putting any labels on your diet right now. The fourth step is letting go of perfectionism and intentionally start being more imperfect. See how that feels. It's likely going to be very uncomfortable, but see it as as growth opportunity. You are growing as you're becoming more imperfect. I know it may sound totally like weird, but this is the truth. And then the last thing I want you to stop worrying about is, when is my goal going to realize? When am I going to achieve the thing that I want to achieve? And just try to let go of that. Try to let go of this like not date on your calendar when you think you should be achieving, and let it happen naturally by taking the right steps every single day. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking some time and listening. It went a little bit longer than I thought, 20 minutes, but thanks again for staying with me, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.